You are not broken. You are not weak. And you are not failing at your healing. You are just carrying unresolved energy that has been waiting, sometimes for lifetimes, for you to finally reach and resolve it. You have heard the word karma your whole life. What goes around comes around. This is their karma. This is bad karma. This is good karma. You have used it casually. You have heard it being used casually. But somewhere along the way, one of the most profound and most life changing concepts in the entire history of human understanding became a bumper sticker. Today, I want to give it to you, the real meaning, the one that explains why you are suffering, why patterns repeat in your life no matter what you do, why some people seem to heal easily and others carry the same pain for decades, and why, when you truly understand what karma is, everything changes. So stay with me. My name is Ajita, and I have spent over 35 years working at the intersection of energy, consciousness, karma, and healing. I have worked with people across 5 continents, with conditions that medicine called incurable, with patterns that therapy could not shift, with suffering that had been present for so long it had started to feel like identity. And in every single case, at the root of that suffering was karma. Not karma is punishment, not karma is fate, not karma is something outside of you deciding what you deserve, but karma is something far more precise, far more personal, far more healable than anything you have ever been told. So let me start by dismantling what karma is not, because the misunderstanding of karma is one of the greatest obstacles to healing that I have encountered in my life. Karma is not permanent. It is not the universe keeping score. It is not a cosmic ledger of your sins and of your virtues. It is not something that is being done to you because of something that you did wrong in this life or another. If you are suffering right now, and if you are in pain, in illness, in patterns that won't shift, that is not punishment. Please hear this clearly. You are not being punished. You are not paying a debt. You are not getting what you deserve. This interpretation of karma has caused more unnecessary suffering, more shame, more self blame than almost any other spiritual misunderstanding that I know of. Let it go. Karma is also not fate. It is not a fixed script that you are living out with no ability to change the ending. It is not destiny in the passive sense, something happening to you while you watch from the inside. You are not a passenger in your own karma. And karma is not only about this lifetime. The idea that karma is simply what you put out, you get back in this life. That if you are kind, good things will happen. If you are unkind, bad things will happen, is a vast oversimplification of something infinitely more nuanced and infinitely more ancient. So, what is karma really? Karma is energy. Specifically, it is unresolved energy. It is an energetic imprint, a vibrational record held in the field of consciousness, carrying the residue of the experiences that were not fully processed, emotions that were not fully felt, and wounds that were never fully healed. Think of it this way. Every significant experience leaves a mark, not just in your memory, not just in your nervous system, but in your energetic field, the invisible but very real field of consciousness. When an experience is fully processed, when the emotions move through you completely, when the lesson is integrated, and when resolution occurs, that energy completes its cycle. It closes and it releases. But when an experience is not fully processed, when the emotions are too overwhelming to feel, when the wound was too deep to face, when the circumstances did not allow for resolution, then that energy does not complete its cycle. It stays. It remains in your field, unresolved, active, seeking completion, like a song that keeps playing because it has now been allowed to reach its final note. That unresolved energy is karma, and it does not stay passive. It seeks resolution. It draws in experiences and people and circumstances that mirror that frequency, not to punish you, but to give the energy another opportunity to complete its cycle. This is why patterns repeat. And this is why you attract the same dynamic in different faces. This is why the same theme keeps appearing in your life in different forms. Karma is not finished yet. It is still seeking its resolution, and it will keep seeking through relationship after relationship, through pattern after pattern, through generation after generation, until it finds it. So, where does karma come from? Now, here is where it gets even more profound, because karma does not come only from this lifetime. This is the part that most healing approaches, even the most progressive ones, do not account for. Karma has three primary sources. The first is your personal karma, the unresolved energy from experiences in this lifetime. The moments of trauma, loss, shame, grief, and wounding that were not fully processed, that live in your body, your nervous system, your energetic field, still active, still seeking resolution. This is the layer that therapy can sometimes reach, that inner work can sometimes touch. The second is ancestral karma, the unresolved energy that has passed through your bloodline. Your parents carried wounds that did not heal. Their parents carried wounds that did not heal. Generations of unresolved grief, of fear, of scarcity, of trauma are passed forward through the lineage like an inheritance that nobody asked for. You did not create these patterns, you just inherited them. Now, science is beginning to confirm this through the field of epigenetics, the study of how trauma and experience alter gene expression across generations. What the ancestors did not heal, the descendants carry until someone in the lineage does the work of clearing it. The third source is the deepest, and the one that, in my experience, is most often at the root of the most persistent suffering: soul karma. The unresolved energy the soul itself carries from experiences that predate this lifetime entirely. Now, I know this may be new territory for some of you. I ask only that you hold it with openness, not as belief, but as possibility. Because in 35 years of working at the soul level, I have encountered the traces of this layer in almost every person I have worked with. Patterns so deep, so inexplicable, by anything in this lifetime that they could only be understood as something the soul arrived with, already formed, already active, already shaping the life from the inside. So, how does all of this actually show up? How do you know if what you are experiencing is karmic in origin? Karma shows up in everyday life patterns, the relationship dynamic that repeats, no matter how different the person seems at the start. The financial ceiling you keep hitting, no matter how hard you work or how much you learn. The health condition that persists, no matter how diligently you follow the protocols. The sense of unworthiness that returns, no matter how much success you enjoy, no matter how much therapy you do, or how many times people tell you that you are enough. Karma shows up in what feels disproportionate, the fear that is far bigger than the situation warrants, the grief that never quite resolves, the anger that flares up in ways you cannot fully explain, the shutdown that happens when things start going well. Karma shows up in what feels ancient, the feeling that this pain is older than you, that you have been here before, that this weight has been with you longer than this lifetime could account for. If any of this sounds familiar, if you recognize yourself in any of these patterns, I want you to hear this. You are not broken. You are not weak. And you are not failing at your healing. You are just carrying unresolved energy that has been waiting, sometimes for lifetimes, for you to finally reach and resolve it. And it can be reached. I have seen it happen hundreds of times. When karma clears, consciousness increases, and when consciousness increases, suffering ends. This brings me to the most important thing I want you to take away from this video. Karma is not permanent. It is not a life sentence. It is not something you simply have to live with, manage around, or suffer through. Karma is energy, and energy can be shifted. Energy can be resolved, and energy can be cleared. Karmic clearing is exactly what it sounds like. The process of going to the root of an unresolved energetic imprint and completing the cycle that was left open. Not through years of analysis, not through reliving the original wound, and not through willpower or positive thinking, or even convincing yourself to feel differently, but by working directly in the energetic field, at the level where the karma actually lives, and facilitating the resolution that the energy has been seeking. Not through years of analysis, not through reliving the original wound, not through willpower or positive thinking, or even convincing yourself to feel differently, but by working directly in the energetic field, at the level where the karma actually lives, and facilitating the resolution that the energy has been seeking. And when that resolution happens, when the cycle finally closes, the pattern that was driven by that karma loses its energetic fuel. It does not need to repeat anymore because the unresolved energy that was driving it is no longer there. The relationship pattern shifts. The financial ceiling dissolves. The body receives new instructions. The consciousness expands because it is no longer contracting around the unresolved wound. This is what I have witnessed again and again and again, not as theory, as lived reality, with real people, with real conditions, with real measurable and undeniable results. Karma is not your destiny. It is simply unfinished business, and unfinished business can be finished. In the videos to come on this channel, I am going to show you exactly how karma shows up in your health, in your relationships, in your money, in your career, and in your spiritual life. I am going to show you what it looks like when it clears. I will share the real stories, the real results, the real shift that happens when someone finally reaches the root. Because I believe you deserve to understand what is actually running your life. Not the surface level story, but the real one. If this has landed for you today, if something in you recognizes itself in what I have shared, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss what comes next. Leave a comment below and tell me what pattern in your life has been trying to shift for longer than makes sense. I read every comment. I want to know your story. And if you feel ready to go deeper, if you want to know what karma is running in your specific life and what it would take to clear it, the link in my description is where to begin. Because karma is not your ceiling, it is simply a door waiting to be opened. I'll see you in the next video.